Yeah. So today is Srila Prabhupada's appearance day. And let me ask you, maybe you can unmute and just give the answer or type the answer. What else are we celebrating today other than Srila Prabhupada's appearance day? What is this day also called as? Okay, Tushita raised hand. So I'm going to unmute Tushita. Yes, go ahead.
Today is also we are celebrating Nandotsav.
Perfect. We are also celebrating Nandotsav. Yes. So Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, was actually born on Nandotsav. So some years back, it was the time of Janmashtami. Everybody around the
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Everyone in the world, they were all celebrating Janmashtami, okay? In India, in US, in London, everywhere people were celebrating Janmashtami. At that time, in a place called Calcutta or Kolkata, that is there in India, in West Bengal, a baby boy was born right after the Janmashtami. So this baby boy was born on September 1st, 1896 in a little house in a suburb of Calcutta, and he was born under a jackfruit tree. Okay, so some years back, kids like ladies would give birth to children under under the shelter of trees or in the shelter of their mothers' homes. So like that, they would go to that place and in a safe environment, they would give birth to babies. But today you have all these sophisticated hospitals where you go and you get admitted and you give birth to babies, right? So, but in those days, several years ago, that was considered very safe. So this child, Srila Prabhupada, he was born under a jackfruit tree. And he was born on the day of Nandotsav. And Nandotsav is a day when Nanda Maharaj observed a very, very wonderful festival in honor of his newborn baby Krishna. So because he was born on Nandotsav, his uncle called him Nandulal. So that was the very, one of the very first names of Srila Prabhupada. But his father Gaur Mohan De and his mother Rajni, they gave him a proper name, which is Abhay Charan. So now this baby boy was known as Abhay Charan and he was also known as Nandulal. Does anyone know the meaning of Abhay Charan? Anyone knows? Can you raise your hand? I will unmute you. Hamsi is raising her hand. What is the meaning of Abhay Charan, Hamsi? Yeah, you can unmute and tell.
Mataji.
What is the meaning of Abhay Charan?
Actually, Mataji, I don't know the meaning of Prabhupada.
Oh, that's okay, baby. We'll find out, okay? Anyone else wants to say? Nobody wants to say?
Mataji, Balavinda wants to say.
Balavinda, go ahead.
I want to say.
Yes, Balavinda.
Ma.
What is fearless? Yes, Abhaya means fearless. Charan means feet, right? So actually later he was initiated to be known as Abhay Charana Ravinda, one who is fearless, having taken shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. That was his initiated name. But when he was born, his name was Abhay Charan. Okay, so the baby was born. And when he was born, his horoscope was shown to many astrologers. So this is what they do in India, and most of you must have got your horoscope cast, right? So your parents get your horoscope cast the minute you're born. They note down the date and the time, and they make a beautiful horoscope chart. So like that, Abhay Charan's horoscope was also cast. And once the horoscope was cast, the astrologers looked at the horoscope and they said, oh my God, this boy is going to be simply amazing. When he reaches the age of 70, he will cross the ocean and he'll become a great exponent of religion and build 108 temples. So this was the prediction that they made after Abhay Charan was born. Now, all of you were talking about this pastime, right? About the chicken soup pastime. Once Abhay Charan fell very sick when he was a young boy and he was very, very weak. So his father, Gaur Mohan, they took him to the doctor and told him, my dear doctor, I really don't know what to do. My boy is so sick. He was suffering from typhoid. Okay, typhoid is quite a deadly disease. So the doctor said, if you really want him to become very, very strong, you have to give him chicken soup. Okay. But then Gaur Mohan was very hesitant. He was very, very hesitant. He didn't want to give chicken soup to Srila Prabhupada. He just resisted and he said, there's no necessity for chicken soup. We have all the nutrition in our vegetables and fruits. So Abhay Charan, he did not actually end up taking chicken soup every day, but he rather depended on the natural medications, Ayurvedic medications, and he eventually got out of typhoid. So that is a lesson for us. So under any circumstance, even whatever may happen, we should never get tempted or never get forced into eating meat. Because look at this chicken, the chicken is really, really suffering, right? So we should not cause any harm to anyone. So we should always remember that whether we are forced or our peers or our friends, they force us, whatever they may say, whatever the situation may be, never say yes to meat. Okay, it's one of the worst things that you can do. So try to always keep away from meat, because of course all of you are born in Vaishnava families, all of you are born in very, very families of exalted devotees. Obviously you're not going to eat, but then in future, any circumstance that comes, remember Prabhupada. Prabhupada was such a strong person, right? So we should follow in his footsteps and say no to meat. Okay. So as he was growing up, there was a terrible plague that had come in Calcutta. A plague is a disease, like now you have COVID, right? So like that, in his time in 1900s, there was a terrible plague and tons of people were dying every day. So many people were dying, just like how today in COVID, so many people are dying every day, right? Like that, the plague was spreading everywhere and people started evacuating the city because they didn't know how to control the plague. So today you have vaccinations and you can go and take vaccinations, you get you get your resistance. But in those days, it was very, very hard. So what they did was actually, they realized that the only way to check this plague or to bring this plague under control is to organize Harinam Sankirtan. So it's simply fantastic that everybody in that town, regardless of whether they were Hindu, Muslim, or Christian, or Parsi, or whatever faith they were following, they all came together and they chanted the holy names. And eventually, shortly after the Harinam Sankirtan marathon was complete, the plague actually subsided. So here is the other lesson. We all must consciously engage in Harinam Sankirtan, because ultimately the topmost sacrifice in this age of Kali to counteract anything and everything is only Harinam Sankirtan. It can wipe out all the evil effects of the age of Kali. So it's extremely important to always chant the holy names, and it is only Sankirtan that can save us. And Prabhupada and his family and all his neighbors and his associates, everyone showed that by example. Only with Harinam Sankirtan can one really cross over this ocean of endless suffering. As this little boy, Abhay Charan, was growing up, he was very, very satisfied with whatever he had. He never unnecessarily complained. He never complained saying that I don't have this, I don't have that, I wish I was better, I wish I had more toys, I wish I was rich. Never such complaints, because his father would often tell him something. His father would tell him, we are happy, he would tell his son. We are very, very happy. Not because we don't have a motor car, we are not unhappy. Meaning, if I don't have a car, it doesn't make me really unhappy. I should be happy with whatever I have, because God has 10 hands. Okay, God has many hands. We all know God has many hands. If He wants to take away something from you with your 2 hands, how much are you going to hold back? And when He wants to give you something with His hundreds and thousands of hands, how much can you take with your just 2 hands? Right? We are so limited. We just have 2 hands. God, if He wants, with His hundreds and thousands of arms and hands, He can give you lots. But even if He's giving you lots, you can only accept with your 2 hands. And if He wants to take, He can just take away everything. So we should be very happy and satisfied with what Krishna has given us, and just enjoy the little things in life, because Krishna always protects us. Okay, He's always protecting us. Remember, whatever the circumstance may be in life, remember Krishna's embrace is always there for his devotee. He's protecting him in various ways. So we should always be happy and satisfied with what we have, and understand that is the plan of Krishna. Okay, so again, Prabhupada, he followed this. He was not very rich. He was not in a very affluent family. But then he was very satisfied with little things he would get. Like, for example, in summer, they would get lots of mangoes. So just eating mangoes was the greatest treat. He didn't cry for chocolates, or he didn't cry for something exotic. He didn't cry for pizza. He didn't cry for anything too exotic, but he was very happy with whatever came his way. And Gaur Mohan Dev was such a fantastic father. He was a very loving father, and he was a very spiritual father. So he always set Vaishnava goals for his son. And whenever any sadhus would visit his house, he would go and ask those sadhus, please bless my son, that my son should become a great preacher of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He should become a servant of Srimati Radharani, and he should be able to play the mridanga very nicely. See, so nice, so simple-hearted, just like all your parents, right? All your parents, whenever they see visiting sannyasis, what do they ask them? Bless my child so that he can speak Srimad Bhagavatam. Bless my child so that he or she can actually chant the holy names. So like the simple goals the father had, and he wanted the children to be very spiritual. I know all your mothers are very spiritual people, and they like you to be very spiritual, all of you on the call. So similarly, Prabhupada's father, he also had such very sweet goals in life, spiritual goals. And it actually became true, right? When Prabhupada, he grew up, what did he become? He became such a great exponent of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He's given us his wonderful Bhaktivedanta commentaries on the Srimad Bhagavatam. And what is it that Prabhupada doesn't know? He plays the mridanga, he cooks so well. He's taught everything to all our kids. So as Prabhupada was growing up, he had many nicknames. How many of you on the call have nicknames? Anybody? Mataji, can they unmute for this?
Yes, Mataji, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yes, they can unmute.
Yeah, everyone can unmute and tell me your nicknames.
Krishna. Mataji. Kundapanana. Mataji, my nickname. This is Shamagori. My nickname is called Gauri.
Gauri. Okay.
My nickname is Krishna.
Krishna, very good, Nathan.
I don't have a nickname. My name is Shamagori. My nickname is Gauri Mataji.
My nickname is Kittu. Hare Krishna Maharaji, I don't have my name. My name is just Kabir.
Oh, okay.
Mataji.
Ah, ah,
Mataji.
ah.
Mataji, can I tell you my nickname?
Tell.
My nickname, since my name is Shama Gudivada, my nickname is Shama Gauri.
Very good, wonderful.
Shama means black color, and Gudivada means yellow color.
Wow, black.
It's like Krishna's black and Radharani's yellow.
Wonderful.
I actually have the mercy of
Mataji, my name is Vayu.
Vayu.
I think Maitali's nickname.
Wonderful. See, like this, you all have fantastic nicknames, right? Like Prabhupada.
Mataji, can I tell my nickname?
Yes, please.
My nickname is Kuhu.
Woohoo. Wonderful.
My nickname is my dad's nickname is I forgot. My name is like
Very good.
nickname is Vrinda Sethi.
Oh, very nice. I like that name. Okay, so like this, Srila Prabhupada also, as he was growing up, he had many nicknames.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Were Moti. Some of them would call him Moti. Some of them would call him Nandulal. He was called as Nandu. He was called as Kocha. And his grandmother gave him a fantastic name. His grandmother gave him a name, Kachori Mukhi. How many of you like kachoris in this place? Yes. So we have kachori.
I love kachori.
My mom got kachoris from the temple today.
Temple. And on Srila Prabhupada, we all make kachoris, right? All your parents make kachori because we make kachori to please Kachori Mukhi Srila Prabhupada. So, and when his grandmother used to make kachoris, she would reserve some kachoris just for Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada would take all the kachoris and he would stuff it in his pocket so that whenever he went out, he could eat lots and lots of kachoris. So he is called as Kachori Mukhi. And Srila Prabhupada, when he was a young child, he wanted to have his own Rath Yatra. So he wanted to build his own cart. And they went to a carpenter and asked a carpenter if they could get a cart. But unfortunately, at that time, many of the carts were pretty expensive. But then there was a neighbor who offered to donate her old cart. And Srila Prabhupada, his father, and all their relatives together, they erected many supporting columns and they created their own cart. So this is the picture of Srila Prabhupada, his cart, and Srila Prabhupada worshipping Jagannath Baladev Subhadra in this cart. So his desire is, he had an intense desire to actually start Rath Yatra, his mini Rath Yatra, kids Rath Yatra. And Srila Prabhupada was extremely successful. And he threw a big Rath Yatra party and so many people participated in that Rath Yatra. So many people came and they had lots and lots of fun in their Rath Yatra. I remember during your camp, you all made beautiful Rath carts. So I'm so proud of all of you. So it's such a nice thing. You're all following in Srila Prabhupada's footsteps. Now you all tell me, which is your favorite toy? You can tell. All of you can tell.
My favorite Deepak is the favorite toy is the dog with the big nose.
Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada.
My favorite toy dog with my favorite Mataji, I want to tell you something. This is Shama. My favorite toy is cows.
Wow, wonderful. So like that, Srila Prabhupada, he also
Hare Krishna Mataji. My name is Can I tell you my what? Toy name?
Yeah.
My pet name Llama.
Llama? Nice. So our toys include guns. but it was very safe, okay? Not like today. It was very safe. He had a wind-up car, a cow that jumped, and a dog, which made
Mataji!
a dancing dog. He had jumping cows, and he had a doctor set. How many of you like doctor set?
Yeah, raise your hand. Kabira, if you know, raise your hand. That's it, beta.
Mataji, I want to tell you something. Mataji, I have two baby brother twins.
Oh, very good. Very good. That's your toy?
They came in a week.
Oh, excellent. So like this, Srila Prabhupada also, he had many toys.
I want to
His favorite was his favorite was the doctor set. So he would imitate a doctor. He would wear this fake stethoscope and he would go and check everyone's pulse. Okay, so that was his favorite activity as he was a kid. And Prabhupada, not only was he very playful, not only did he have these toys, and not only did he have lots of fun, but he was also very, very spiritual when he was a kid. So this is something for all of you. Prabhupada, he had his own personal deities. I know many of you have your own personal deity corner. You have your little stuffed deities. That's a very good practice. Everyone, all you kids should have your own little altar, your own personal space, so that you can practice deity worship from a very small age. Just like how Dhruva Maharaj, remember, even when he received the mantra from Narad Muni suggested that he should build deities from the sand, and Dhruva Maharaj actually worshipped deities. So like that, you all, ask your parents for little, ways in which you can start deity worship at this age. And you can start worshipping them because these deities, they reciprocate. Like, for example, once Srila Prabhupada, he put away his little deities that he was worshipping on a regular basis. He put it in a box because he was very busy with once. But then those deities, they appeared in his dream and they told him, oh, why did you put me away? You were worshipping me so nicely and we are feeling very lonely without you. So afterwards, Srila Prabhupada, he came back and he opened up his deities and he started worshipping them again. So like this, Gaur Mohan, they had given him a pair of Radha Krishna deities. And whatever he ate, he would make sure that he would first offer it to his deities and then he would accept it. So like this, even our parents, right? They have this habit of giving us little toy deities where we can actually do a little puja, make a little offering, and then we can accept. So that is another thing you all can learn from Prabhupada's early age. So like this, Prabhupada grew up, he went to college, and then he got initiated by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then when he was an old man at the age of 70, at the age of 70, people can't even walk. It's very hard. It's very hard. That age is very difficult. At the age of 69, 70, he actually started to, he decided to go across the ocean. He came in a cargo ship. Cargo ship is a ship that carries loads of materials. It doesn't carry humans as such. But he came in a cargo ship. He suffered heart attacks. He suffered strokes. He suffered seasickness. So many problems. And then finally he came here, and with Krishna's mercy, he really made that prediction true. He established 108 temples and he had thousands and thousands of followers by the mercy of Krishna. So this is Prabhupada's life is actually, it's a great historical epic, Prabhupada's entire life story. We are all very fortunate to be in this movement. So we should spend our entire Krishna consciousness with a lot of gratitude to this wonderful personality who has given us this huge family, this wonderful family of ISKCON. So we should always remain grateful to him and continue to be in ISKCON and continue to contribute to Krishna consciousness. Okay, so that is what, all our children have to do. Govinda, Damodar, all of you. The whole goal of these classes is to make you wonderful children, is to make you wonderful devotees. and is also to make you wonderful preachers of Krishna consciousness. So take Prabhupada as your role model and follow in his footsteps and become like Prabhupada. Okay, so we'll end here and we'll carry on with the rest of our program, which is now for the Govinda kids. The Damodar kids can sign off now. You can log out and the Govinda kids will continue their program.
Hare Krishna Mata.